As soon as she arrived at school, explaining that Seon-ae had told her she was going to school that night and Hyun-hyup was there to meet her. One thing Hyun-hyup was absolutely sure of was that Seon-ae's fall was not a suicide. As soon as the news about Seon-ae's incident hit the school grounds, it descended into complete chaos. The teachers and staff were thrown into a frantic mess, especially knowing the news would surely tarnish their school's good name beyond repair. The Dean of Studies conveyed his profound disappointment in a firm, unyielding demeanor, and it immediately hit a nerve with the other teachers. What initially seemed to be an evaluation quickly devolved into heated arguments in no time. Amidst that commotion, a school staff member wearing glasses accidentally dropped her belongings, and the kind music teacher stepped in to help her tidy up her things. While the shocking news of Seon-ae's fall continued to rock the entire school, the school's English teacher, Mr. Kim, found himself grappling with a personal crisis. His upcoming wedding had been abruptly called off due to an undisclosed problem. Seon-ae's fall was the first time Seon-ae had been called off due to an undisclosed problem. This led him to decide on a drastic change. He was moving to Canada to start afresh. Before his departure, he decided to stay at his sister's place. During their conversation, he inquired about his brother-in-law, Byung Cheol, but his sister simply explained that Byung Cheol was out for work and typically very busy, making it unlikely they'd have a chance to meet. Meanwhile, Hyun-hyup was utterly shocked and devastated by what had happened to Seon-ae, not only because Seon-ae was her friend, but also because she had witnessed the horrifying fall firsthand. Firm in her conviction that Seon-ae's fall was not a suicide attempt, Hyun-hyup headed to the rooftop to search for clues. There, she encountered Kyung-jin, a student from another class. She firmly believed Seon-ae's fall was not self-inflicted, and she strongly suspected Ha-young had something to do with it, especially since Ha-young had been conspicuously absent from school since the incident. As they walked down a school corridor, they passed Jum-son, a student from Hyun-hyup's class, wearing glasses. Still determined to find Seon-ae's missing glasses, Hyun-hyup stopped him, quickly grabbed the glasses he was wearing, and put them on, hoping to confirm if they were the ones she was looking for. In the teacher's office, Mr. Kim was tidying up his desk when he discovered a pair of glasses, the very same type Seon-ae had been using. He asked Gyujin, who was sitting behind him, if they were hers. Gyujin looked at them intensely and confirmed they weren't, instead remarking that they must be Mr. Kim's and that they suited him well. Flattered by the comment, Mr. Kim decided to put them on. The moment the glasses settled in on his face, he froze in sheer shock, suddenly witnessing the impossible. There were red S lines emanating from people's heads. Shortly after, Ji-wook appeared and Mr. Kim saw him covered in hundreds of these red lines. Overwhelmed, a truly stunned Mr. Kim immediately yanked the glasses off. Ji-wook's visit was to uncover the truth behind his niece's fall. Gyujin offered her condolences, assuming it was a suicide attempt and blaming herself for not being more attentive to her students. Ji-wook, however, firmly emphasized that it was not yet confirmed as a suicide attempt. He then inquired about the student who had been bullying Sun-ae. Gyujin informed him that Hee-young hadn't been showing up to school since the incident. Upon hearing this, Ji-wook asked about another student, a male he recognized from a photo he'd found in Sun-ae's handbag. Gyujin then arranged a meeting with the student. Ji-wook went straight to the male student and directly asked about his relationship with Sun-ae. The student confessed he had nothing serious to do with Sun-ae. He admitted he knew she liked him, and he had simply played along. Finding her sudden transformation from bullied outcast to school star quite interesting. Furthermore, the student recalled that during his last date with Sun-ae, he'd noticed she seemed anxious and was missing something, though he didn't know what it was. Upon returning to the office, Ji-wook decided to review the CCTV footage near the photo booth. There, he clearly saw Hee-young taking Sun-ae's handbag. He then checked another CCTV feed and found Hee-young, now unmistakably wearing a pair of glasses that Ji-wook recognized Sun-ae had been wearing for a while. After following her movements, he saw her vanish into a dark room. Ji-wook then went back to the office and went to the dark alley, the trail going cold. Meanwhile, Mr. Kim was having dinner with his sister and her husband, Byung-chul. This time, armed with his new vision of the S lines and finally understanding their meaning. He saw the red lines connecting his sister's husband to others, instantly realizing that Byung-chul had been cheating on his sister. After an attempt to break the awkward silence, Byung-chul abruptly brought up Mr. Kim's cancelled wedding. Despite his wife's futile attempts to stop him, Byung-chul pressed on. Mr. Kim, trying not to be polite despite the sensitive topic, answered, revealing he had discovered his girlfriend's affair before their marriage. This revelation shocked them both, especially the sister. After dinner, Mr. Kim and Byung-chul went outside. They took the elevator, and when they passed the 4th floor, Mr. Kim, now able to see the S lines, saw the red line on Byung-chul's head connected to someone on that floor. He, however, kept his mouth shut, choosing to observe. They then sat together outside the building to enjoy a cigarette. Byung-chul casually remarked that he should be keeping in closer touch with his sister. When they returned inside, while taking the elevator, Mr. Kim clearly saw Byung-chul accidentally press the wrong floor button. It was the 4th floor, the very same floor where the person connected to Byung-chul resided. Out of intense curiosity, when Byung-chul wasn't looking, Mr. Kim subtly pressed that floor button again, hoping to see which room it was. But when they arrived at that floor, Byung-chul immediately stopped him, firmly stating that they were not there. On the other hand, Ji-wook was met with harsh treatment by his superior upon finding out he was investigating his niece's incident. He was sternly told to move on and turn a blind eye to the incident to keep the school's clean name intact. But Ji-wook flatly refused, driven by his unwavering desire to seek justice for his niece. However, his investigation thus far hadn't produced any significant breakthroughs. He still couldn't unlock his niece's phone to find crucial. The next day, Mr. Kim discovered a wrong-addressed package in front of his sister's apartment. Seeing that it was supposedly meant for a room on the 4th floor, he decided to return it to the rightful owner, and of course, to subtly find out who the person Byung-chul was cheating with truly was. He soon arrived at the door, but at the very last second, he hesitated and backed down, his courage failing him. However, before he left, he finally managed to ascertain the identity of the woman who lived there. To confirm her name, he discreetly looked at the mail for that room and finally discovered that her name was Charon. Some other day, after a pilgrimage to honor their mother, Mr. Kim asked his sister about Byung-chul, who was conspicuously absent for the ceremony. His sister explained that Byung-chul was out for work and would return in a few days. Clearly, this only strengthened Mr. Kim's already growing suspicion that Byung-chul was indeed cheating on his sister. His sister, however, didn't seem to mind Byung-chul's decision to leave the apartment, Byung-chul's absence much, and instead brought up Mr. Kim's cancelled marriage, mistakenly believing it was because they were parentless that his girlfriend's parents didn't bless their relationship. Mr. Kim denied it outright, correcting her that it was solely because of the cheating. He clearly still loved her, but the betrayal had hurt him so deeply. It was revealed that their own father had cheated on their mother, and when his girlfriend cheated on him, it painfully brought back that agonizing memory, creating a cycle of betrayal. The photo of Ha-young and Mr. Sung-jin's illicit relationship with Byung-chul was a perfect example of that. Byung-chul and his sister had a relationship, finally leaked to the school, sending shockwaves through the entire student body and staff. Not a single soul was not stunned by the revelation. On the other hand, Mr. Sung-jin was finally found, but tragically, he was already dead. He was discovered in his car, a clear victim of an attempted suicide. From the crime scene, Ji-wook found a piece of paper with Mr. Sung-jin's will written on it. They also found out that Mr. Sung-jin had been deceased for at least 3 days. However, Ji-wook didn't fully believe the suicide theory, finding it strange for someone to die in plain sight, yet only be found 3 days later.